These are tree frog breeding buckets, and they're full of rainwater. And even now that it's October 28th, we're still getting tadpoles in here. And no mosquitoes at all, just tadpoles. And the tree frogs, they need this because nowadays there are no tree crotches for tree frogs to nest in. I put these duckweeds in here and they overwinter under the water, and then they come back to the surface after spring ends. And I use every kind of bucket I can get, and this is so the animals can climb out if they go in there to get a drink. You got to worry about animals drowning, so you want to make sure there's sticks in there. And here's some of the aquarium nets that I keep so that I can move the tadpoles around. Sometimes I might dip them in there and give them to a new bucket to make sure they're well fed. And they eat mosquito eggs. No mosquitoes can ever hatch in here because the frogs will eat the mosquito eggs. I never have to feed the frogs, and they grow really fast. Hard to see that one, but you can probably see those tadpoles right there. Well, they just skedaddled. There's one. See? And they live on mosquito eggs. There's no mosquitoes whatsoever in any of these buckets. And that's because there's no way they could even proliferate around here. Every female mosquito lays eggs once in her life. She comes to this water to lay eggs. And none of them can ever, breed. So it's kind of like a dead end for every single mosquito there is. But it's a start for every single tree frog there is. I've got so many varieties of tree frogs. You can tell when they're young because they all look different. But if you do this, you will save a lot of varieties of tree frogs. And this one's for the toads, because toads can't climb up. They have to go to ground level stuff. So that's for the toads, and they lay eggs in there. But toads are a little different. I think they do okay in regular ponds, because I don't know if fish eat them or not, but they do eat regular frogs. So these poor things don't have a chance in a real pond with fish in it. So that's why they exist in the forest in tree crotches. So that's what I do. I keep these buckets out here. I breed this duckweed in there. And there's an old wheelbarrow that I took the frame off of. And this is not permanent. This is just something that I did to collect some rainwater just to see how much rain we got. That's from the last good rain that lasted 3 or 4 days. So that's how it's done. I usually keep a few sticks in there so that everything can climb out. Another good thing about it is animals have a drink of water during the hot, dry spells. This collects the rainwater. They don't mind drinking with tadpoles in it at all. The water's still clean and fresh, especially since the duckweed's on it. Anytime there's an aquatic plant in the water, it filters and oxygenates the water, no matter what type of plant it is. Does not matter whether it's native or non-native. There's no such thing as native and non-native anything. I mean, everything is earthlings. Everything moves around. Native is not a scientific word. Native is an opinionated word that for plants, it's done by the herbicide companies. It's a theory that doesn't exist. They say that anything that's new will take over, but it's impossible. They say if you don't spray it with herbicide and they don't do it with your money and spray all the wildlands, they'll be taken over by all the plants that come here new. It's completely bull. It's not true because, I know that. I've got all these different plants and so much diversity, and nothing takes over. Everything has its time. You'll see a vine that takes over a tree, and the tree falls over, the vine dies. Some other plant grows in the rich soil. The soil is no longer good for that vine. The pH changed when the tree died. The rotting logwood lowered the pH too much for it. Something else came in, grew. After a while, it used up the nutrients in itself and changed the pH. Just all kinds of things change. The climates change. If animals and plants don't move around, they don't survive. And that's the answer to saving plants and animals from extinction is just moving them. We could have saved the white rhino by bringing it to the United States. Some of the federal public lands out there that are now being used for livestock people that don't pay their leases. We could take those millions of acres and put some rhinos on there. And yeah, they'll say, oh, rhinos aren't native, but there were over 56 varieties of rhinos in North America once. They belong here. Everything does. This is Earth. This is not a bunch of different lands from different planets. It's all connected. It's all connected by the same ocean. The ocean has a different name everywhere it's at, but it's still the same ocean. Whether it's the Pacific or the Atlantic, it's all connected. It's all one big body of water. And that body of water moves around. Lands rise and fall. Nothing is native. Nothing. It's all earthlings. The whole theory is bogus. Nothing takes over. And half the plants on their invasive list, they claim, and that they is Monsanto Herbicide Company, which is now Bayer, because they got sued because they're crooks. They were also sued in Europe for being liars about toxicity to the plants and their environmental impact. They lied about that, and they lie about it here, but we accept it. We let them lie. We believe them. We're gullible. But they're a chemical mafia. And these plants that are out here, they'll say that half of them are poisonous. And if you don't get rid of them, your animals will die. None of that is true. I have all of the plants they claim are poisonous. And I have healthy horses, healthy goats, healthy chickens. And I eat most of those. I have everything out here like that. I don't spray poison on anything. You don't need to. And you sure don't need your tax money used to spray waterways and ecosystems. And most of the plants they claim are so highly invasive that they spray when they see them aren't even able to take it in North America. Like if they find water hyacinth, even in northern Georgia, from somebody's boat that dropped it off, they'll still spray the lake, even though water hyacinth doesn't make seeds and doesn't survive winter. So it's a big scam. So any kind of plant you want to put in the water or the land on your land, don't worry about anything. They're all good. Even bamboo has a time when it dies. When it blooms, it dies. All over the world, that species of bamboo that bloomed will die. Like the black bamboo, it recently died all over the world because it bloomed about 3 years ago. So it's all dead. So everything has its time. And you'll find something in the pasture that the animals won't eat. So you'll say, oh, they're not eating that plant. They're not eating the river cane. And then when wintertime comes, a frost hits it, and it's the thing they want because it turns the plant turns sugars into its leaves to help as an antifreeze. Suddenly the plant becomes sweet, and they want to eat it. So just because they're not eating the plant now, they'll have a time when they do eat it. And generally, it's a time when all the other pasture plants have gone to sleep. Then this weed that you left there becomes the fodder now. So they kind of understand this better in Europe. In Europe, they let weeds grow in their pastures, but in North America, because of Monsanto, we have began spraying every single pasture with broadleaf killing weed killers. And that means anything but grass dies. And that causes us all to get cancer. And all of us have these herbicides in our bodies because they're so non-biodegradable. They're such forever chemicals that, think about this, even after passing through the 5 chambers in a ruminant's, like a cow's stomach, they still come out as weed killer. It still kills after all that fermentation and all that regurgitating cud and chewing it back. The manure will still kill broadleaf plants. And we are feeding, eating on these things that have been sprayed. And this is in our bodies. Our bodies are getting poisoned by this herbicide. We banned DDT once, and they used to spray DDT on children. You can look that up. They used to spray it on children, and they used to say that DDT would stop them from getting paralysis, which they sometimes call polio, they sometimes call it Lou Gehrig's disease, MS, all kinds of stuff. But childhood paralysis, they said that spraying them with DDT would stop the polio, which was everywhere. I saw it when I was a kid. In 1973, it completely ended. There was no more polio. That just so happens to be the same year DDT was banned and the vaccines were banned. So think on that. Okay, have a good time, and I hope you have a great winter, because I might not make another video. I don't know.